Hey friends, welcome to One Flight Down. Welcome to the Terry Isle Tasting Lounge. Today we're checking out not just one, not just two, but three beers from the Farmery Brewing Company in Neepawa, Manitoba. And given the theme that they all have, this could be just out of this world. I got these beers just before Christmas. Chris from Farmery actually reached out to me and said we have this new line of IPAs out, and we'd love for you to try them. So he invited me down to the Farmery store. They've got like even though the brewery is in Neepawa, they've got a storefront here in Winnipeg, and he invited me down there to pick up these cans, which I did. Normally I'll do one beer per show. It's been a while. I used to always when I first started, I always did like two or three beers from a brewery. But I'm going to do all three of these in this video, just because the theme is very similar. They're only out for a limited time, and I just kind of figured, like, I'm not going to do three videos throughout the month of January that all feature alien-themed beers from Farmery. So I'm just going to put them all together in one video. There are three IPAs, and there's a West Coast, a New England IPA, and I think the third one is a double IPA. We're gonna start, I'm just gonna go lowest to highest in terms of alcohol content, just to find a reason to put these in some kind of order. So let's see, this says grown and brewed right here on the prairies. Well, that's an interesting thing with Farmery. So they're in Neepawa, Manitoba. They are an estate brewery, so they don't just brew the beer, they grow their own ingredients. In terms of Manitoba, they're the only ones I know that do that. And, I think the concept is pretty rare to begin with, but I know in Manitoba, they're the only ones that do that. It says here it's got 5.5% alcohol, 55 IBUs. Well, this is interesting. Okay, I don't know if you can read this or not, but right up here, right at the top there, it says 5.5 ABV. And then here it says 6%. So I don't know. It's somewhere in the neighborhood of 5.5 to 6% alcohol by volume. The description says it is a bold nose of pine, spruce, and lemon zest, crisp bitterness, and citrusy pith, riding a subtle malt flavor for a clean, refreshing finish. This was packaged. I can't make out their packaging. It's just a bunch of numbers as far as I'm concerned. I see it's somewhere in there's a 1208. Maybe that was December 8th. I really don't know. I know it's pretty fresh though, because I know this is a brand new line of beers for them. So yeah, that's everything I see on the can. Let's just crack into this. And pour it into my rather generic glass here. I like starting off with the West Coast too, just because I really like the style. As my friend Nutmeg 2 Palmetto would say, Westy is bestie. I mean, I really like my hazy New England IPAs as well, but they can be really heavy, right, body-wise, and I always find like West Coasts are a little more crushable. Like I can sit and have a couple of them usually. All right, so let's get a look at the color on this. It's just kind of like a almost amberish, maybe copper, bit of a copper colored beer. Pretty active, a lot of activity in there, a lot of bubbles. And it's murky enough that you're not seeing my face through there. The head on there is just kind of like an off-white, or maybe even just like a light tan. Got a nose on this. I'm getting a real sort of like a citrusy, bright kind of a note on the nose. It's not what I was expecting. I usually find with West Coast, the pininess comes through first, more than that citrusy kind of note. It smells really good. I'm going to get into this. Cheers, my friends. That's pretty good. It's got just a nice light mouthfeel. Kind of coats your mouth a bit at the back at the end. But overall, the mouthfeel is quite light. I do get that piney note in there for sure. And yeah, there's a bit of like a bright sort of citrusy note that carries through all this as well. It is actually quite good. To be honest, it's been a while since I had a beer from Farmery. Maybe like 2 years. I don't see their stuff out and about as much as I used to. I know if I go to rural Manitoba, their stuff is always on tap. In Winnipeg, you don't see it on tap as much. And if I do see their stuff in the beer stores, I'm not noticing it. But I do know they've kind of gone through a bit of a rebrand recently, like visually how their cans look and everything. So yeah, it's been a while since I've had a beer from them. This one's quite nice. I quite like this. Yeah, I would recommend this one for sure. All right, so next up we have the New England IPA of the series. When I say series, I don't think the series has a name. It's just the very similar looking cans. This New England IPA is called Hopstronaut. It's got this rather ripped alien dude with a hop head. Yeah, I'm enjoying the can art on these quite a bit. I gotta say too, because like, I don't know if other beer reviewers experience this, but I find that I'll pop on, I'll talk about a beer, and then, you know, I'm finished the beer, or I'm finished the video by about here, and then I got the rest of the beer to go. And sometimes, you know, I'm like, at the end of the beer, I think, oh, should I just hop on with a update, because some opinions may have changed. This one, the previous one I did, nothing really. I just gotta say, it was just a solid West Coast IPA all the way through. Yeah, nice bitter finish on the end. Totally solid beer. So, yeah. All right, so now let's get into this New England IPA. It is 6% alcohol and 45 IBUs, and it does say 6% alcohol in both spots. So I feel pretty confident that that's what the ABV is on this one. Yeah, I found that kind of amusing on the last one, that it had two ABV listings on it. It says here, it's a vibrant tropical nose of pineapple, mango, and blueberry, layered with earthy pine and black currant, with a refreshing mouthfeel and crisp dryness. This sounds really, really nice. Now, pineapple, mango, those are notes I often get on a New England IPA. I wouldn't say that blueberry and black currant are common to that. So this should be pretty interesting. Get to a clean version of the same kind of glass I did the last one in. And of course, coming out in a much lighter color is a New England wood. And it should also be quite hazy, which it appears to be. Yeah, you're not seeing any phase to that. That's quite opaque. Nice pillowy white head, or maybe slightly off-white head. I'm gonna say like color-wise, I don't know, I think like on screen, it looks like just your perfect Neepawa, but I think the color looks just a little paler than I normally see in person. It just, yeah, there's just a slight difference from what I'm seeing on the screen compared to what I'm seeing in the glass. That's just, this is just a touch lighter, like almost like a cross between a Neepawa and like a Hefeweizen, if you can think of that. Like Hefeweizens tend to be not very clear, similar kind of color, but like a lighter color than your Neepawas. And yeah, I think just a touch kind of between the two. All right, let's get a nose on this. I'm definitely getting some fruity notes coming through. Not overpowering. But I do think I'm getting a bit of that pineapple kind of a note coming through in the nose. All right, going for a sip. Cheers, my friends. Okay, the body on that is surprisingly light. I'm used to Neepawas just being a little bit of a heavier body, which might have something to do with like why the color looks a bit lighter. It's tasty though. Yeah, I am getting a lot of those mango pineapple notes I usually get with a New England IPA. I'm not saying I'm necessarily getting any blueberry or anything like that. Bit of pine on the back end for sure. Yeah, I can't say that I'm necessarily getting blueberry or black currant in there. But it tastes pretty decent. Like, I mean, it's giving me most of the flavors that I like to get out of a New England IPA. The body's just a touch lighter than maybe I was expecting it to be. I think I like a New England that just a little more of a body to it. That said, flavor-wise, this is pretty decent. Yeah, pretty decent overall. All right, and last up of this series of Farmery alien-themed IPAs, we've got the Crop Circle Double IPA. This alien enjoying a pint. A little less ripped than the Hopstronaut alien. All right, so he's just hanging out in the field, making a crop circle, drinking a pint of beer. This one is 7.5% alcohol and 65 IBUs, and that's 7.5% alcohol. It says that in both spots, so I guess we can confirm that. On the can it says, bursting with passion fruit, peach, mango, and citrus flavor, layered over subtly punchy pine and floral notes with a dry, satisfying finish. All right, let's flip this one. And pour this into yet another clean, standard pint glass. Trying to get this video in while the natural light is still coming through the window. I like to shoot my videos during the afternoon because I get the nice light coming in naturally. I don't have to set up any kind of lighting or anything. So of the three beers, I'd say this easily has the most clarity. I still don't think you're quite seeing my face through it. That might be more due to the activity than anything else. A similar color to that Westie that we had at the beginning. But I think it's a little clearer and lighter overall. And kind of just another off-white sort of pillowy head. This one seems to have much bigger bubbles than the other one, but it doesn't seem to have as much head retention. The New England IPA had a great head retention, like all the way through. The thinner body on it made it sort of toward the end. I don't know. I like to sip those kinds of beers slowly, and toward the end, it was, I don't know, it's just a touch thin, but flavor-wise, it was there. And so anyway, we're gonna see what this one is like. Again, now there's less activity. Can you see my face through there? Almost, eh? Almost. There's a trace of face, I think. All right, let's get a nose on this one. If anything, I'm getting a little bit of that pininess, but not much. I would say this one has the weakest nose of the three beers, like the weakest aromas. Like I'm not getting a whole lot, just a touch of that pininess. All right, gonna go in for a sip. Cheers, my friends. Okay, this one promised to be a lot stronger in the fruit, but I would say it's more of that pininess. Passion fruit, peach, and mango. I get a little bit of kind of like a passion fruit mango, kind of on the back end. But this is like a really strong and sort of that pininess. It's, what were the IBUs on this again? It seems much more bitter than the other one, 65. I mean, it's a double IPA, right? So you would expect that. But yeah, it's Like the other ones, to me, the West Coast nailed the style. Perfect. Yeah, the New England was pretty close to the style that I like. Maybe just a bit of a thinner body. Double IPAs aren't always my favorite. Sometimes find they're too strong. With this one though, I don't know if it's too strong. Like it doesn't seem overly boozy to me. But that pine taste is quite strong in it. Yeah, like this, I think this is more the kind of beer, like I'd rather share this one with someone. I don't think I'd want the full pint of it. Just because that piney note is so strong, like just a touch too strong. It's not too bad though. So yeah, overall of this series, I would definitely say the West Coast was my favorite. And I don't think that Farmery has a West Coast in like their core series of beers. I know they've got more like their premium lager. I know they've got like a lighter beer. I know they do IPAs from time to time, but I don't know if it's part of their core lineup. This one, if it was a regular, if I saw this on tap, I would buy it. The other one's maybe not, just because I mean there's so many good New England IPAs out there that I might not. I mean, I wouldn't turn my nose up at it if it was the only Neepawa that was on tap. But if I saw this on tap, I'd go for that for sure. So yeah, overall a pretty fun series. Like I said at the beginning, it's only available for a limited time, but I don't know how limited that time is. But they're definitely worth checking out if you live in this area. And yeah, so a huge thank you to Chris over at Farmery for hooking me up with these. And to the rest of you, thanks you so much for dropping by the Terry Isle Tasting Lounge. See you all again real soon. Cheers, my friends.